Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Priscilla Obasi. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in detail. President Tinubu says the ongoing infrastructure development across the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, is a testament to his administration's commitment to building a city that works for everyone. Tinubu spoke at the inauguration of the collector road CN8 Asuko Okonwe from Atero Road N5 Obafemi Awolowo Way to Atero Road N1 and other collecting roads in the Dakibu district of Jabi, Abuja. The president noted that the reason his administration would continue to fund life-impacting projects in the FCT. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has commissioned the newly constructed collected road CN8 Asuko Okon Street from Atero Road N5 Obafemi Awolowo Way to Atero Road N1 and other roads connected to the Dakibu district. The president was represented by Vice President Kashim. Our correspondent Godwin Sunday has details.
The rains came clapping, thunders resounding as Dakibu, Jabi and its environs came alive to the commissioning of the newly constructed road by President Bola Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima. The road network, lights, drainage and telecommunication enhancements, a milestone that will serve as a benchmark for the FCT development. While speaking at the commissioning, President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, reiterated the government's commitment to the improvement of infrastructures across Nigeria.
The dividends of this project are immediate and enduring. Commutes will shorten, congestions will ease, and most critically, livelihoods will flourish. Shops will open, markets will thrive, children will reach school faster, emergency services will arrive quicker. This is what we mean when we speak of renewed hope.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, thanked the president for his support and called for more support.
Your Excellency, I don't want to talk much, but to thank you for your continued support and continue to solicit for more support.
Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News.
Former President of the Senate, David Mark, has tendered his resignation from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Mark, a founding member of the PDP, resigned from the party following his appointment as one of the interim leaders of the coalition-backed Africa Democratic Congress, ADC. Announcing his resignation, the former Senate President, in a statement dated June 27 and signed by him, cited the leadership crisis in the PDP as the main reason for his resignation. The Nigerian Senate has postponed the Northwest Zonal public hearing on the review of the 1999 Constitution, scheduled for this weekend in Kano. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, said the postponement is in honor of Aminu Dantata, who died on Sunday. Kikelomo Okiri has details.
Briefing his colleagues, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says his deputy, who is the chairman Committee on Constitution Review, Jibril Barao, is in Saudi Arabia for the burial rites of the late philanthropist. He says the hearing will be held on a later date as agreed by stakeholders in the region.
The Senate resolved to observe 1 minute silence in honor of the late Alhaji Aminu Dantata, and also resolved to postpone the Zonal Constitutional Conference of the Northwest to a date to be mutually agreed between the stakeholders of the Northwest as soon as the Deputy Senate President is back from Saudi Arabia.
Akpabio, however, explained that the public hearing on the review of the constitution will take place in the remaining 5 geopolitical zones. According to the timetable, the exercise will take place in Borno, Plateau, Enugu, Akwa Ibom, and Lagos states, respectively. Kike Lomo Ukeri, Global Television News.
In a different development, the Senate has taken significant steps towards promoting green mobility and local manufacturing with the adoption of Senator Orji Uzor Kalu's Electric Vehicle Transition and Green Mobility Bill 2025. The bill, which passed its first reading, seeks to establish a comprehensive framework for Nigeria's transition into electric vehicles. Kalu stated that the proposed legislation is designed to position Nigeria as a regional leader in clean energy transportation while boosting industrial capacity, adding that it is about creating thousands of jobs, driving local innovations, and ensuring that Nigeria does not lag behind in the global shift towards electric mobility. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has met with resident electoral commissioners from across the country to finalize preparations and ensure transparent, inclusive, and secure electoral process. Kabir Hassan has the details.
With key elections drawing near, it was a crucial strategy session at the INEC headquarters in Abuja as the Commission's chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, met with resident electoral commissioners to review progress on logistic arrangements, security, and voters' education campaign.
You also need to provide us with information on your plans to enhance voter access to polling units by decongesting some of them, or in other areas such as the cleaning up of the voters' register. You can only effectively discharge your responsibilities when you are knowledgeable and committed. I encourage you to intensify your effort so that we will play our part in what is a multi-stakeholder responsibility more effectively.
The meeting focused on 4 major issues: preparation for the upcoming FCT area council election, pending by-election in 16 constituencies, off-cycle governorship election, and the resumption of nationwide voters registration.
The Commission is holding 5 major elections. These are the by-elections in 12 states of the Federation on 16th of August 2025, the Anambra State Governorship election on 8th November 2025, the area council elections in the Federal Capital Territory on 21st February 2026, the Ekiti State Governorship election on 20th June 2026, and the Osun State Governorship election on the 8th of August 2026.
INEC also stressed the need for enhanced collaboration with security agencies, urging that the citizens, electoral officers, and materials be adequately protected across all election zones. As political activities intensify, the Commission assured Nigerians of its determination to conduct credible elections while reminding political actors to comply with the rules governing campaign activities and voters' engagement. For Nigerians, INEC and its resident electoral commissioners remain the spotlight to deliver on their mandate. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
The Westminster Foundation for Democracy, WFD, has raised the alarm over the increasing costs of politics in Nigeria. This follows the release of a comprehensive electoral timetable by the Independent National Electoral Commission for 2025 and 2026, including 5 major elections and the nationwide resumption of continuous voters registration. The report says the country's democratic future is at risk as women, youth, and persons with disabilities are being priced out of the political space, noting that justice itself is now only affordable to the highest bidders. The Supreme Court has adjourned indefinitely judgment in the legal battle on the Edo State governorship election petition. The Apex Court adjourned the judgment signed after taking argument for and against the election that produced Senator Monday Okpebholo as the duly elected governor. Justice Garba Lawal, who presided over the hearing of the appeal filed by Asue Ighodalo and the People's Democratic Party (PDP), said that the date for delivery of the judgment will be communicated to the parties involved. You are watching the live broadcast of the Midday News. When Midday News returns, again, G7 says Iran can never have nuclear weapons. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now we go to the business news. The Naira appreciated against the dollar across the foreign exchange markets the first trading day of July 2025, counting a trend of relative currency stability driven by ongoing reforms. In the data shared by Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) at the Nigerian foreign exchange market, the Naira strengthened marginally by 0.14 Naira, closing at 1,529.57 Naira per dollar, compared to 1,529.71 Naira on Monday. The Naira recorded gains in the parallel markets, appreciating by 10 Naira to close at 1,560 Naira, representing a 0.6% increase from the 1,570 Naira, recorded the previous day. The federal government has entered into a partnership with Saitimo Technologies to provide affordable credit to market women across 224 markets in 28 states. The Managing Director of Nigeria Customer Credit Corporation, Uzoma Nwaba, who was represented by his Executive Credit and Portfolio Management, Aisha Abdullahi, disclosed this while speaking with newsmen in Umuahia, said the initiative was aimed at expanding financial access to informal sector workers, particularly women who are key players in local economies. He said about 1 million traders are being targeted in the initiative, which will begin in Araria markets in Aba, Abia State. The federal government of Nigeria has launched a $40 million initiative, the Blueprint ICT Development Project, aimed at transforming the country's tertiary education system through digital infrastructure and innovation. The project was announced by the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, in Abuja, and will be implemented across 10 federal universities nationwide. Alausa noted that the project reflects a renewed national focus on digital transformation, inclusive education, and human capital development. Moving on, the Debt Management Office says the federal government Nigeria bonds accounted for 79.85% of total domestic debt stock, which stood at 74.89 trillion naira as of March 31, 2025. The figure was contained in the latest domestic debt report released recently by the management. In the management breakdown, federal government bonds amounted to 59.8 trillion naira, comprising 58.39 trillion in naira-dominated bonds and 1.41 trillion naira in US dollar-denominated bonds. Now go to the foreign scene. The most senior United Nations official in Iran, Stefan Prinsina, says the organization's humanitarian and development aid budget will continue and require a doubling following a war with Israel. Uyi Abumefwebe completes the story.
Van Presner, the United Nations resident coordinator in Iran, said he hoped the international community would step up with more funding. He said this year's UN budget for development and humanitarian affairs in Iran was $75 million, roughly $50 million for refugees and $25 million for the development program.
Our budget last year that we delivered was about 75 million US dollars, 50 million for the refugee crisis, which is, we are always calling for increased burden sharing of the international community to enable us to support this issue more, and about 25 million development program.
Iran hosts the largest number of refugees in the world, around 3.5 million, most of them from Afghanistan. Speaking from Tehran, Pressner expressed the hope that aid and development would be seen as separate from other issues, and the situation would trigger the international community to increase its support. Uyi Agmofwegbe reporting for Global TV News.
United States President Donald Trump says Israel has agreed to the necessary conditions for a 60-day ceasefire in the Gaza war, and it is now up to Hamas to accept a deal. Trump disclosed this, his platform, Truth Social, adding that during the 2 months, the United States will work with all parties to end the conflict. Representatives from Qatar and Egypt, who have been heavily involved in peace efforts, will deliver the latest proposal to the Palestinian extremist organization, Hamas. The G7 reaffirmed at The Hague that the Islamic Republic of Iran could never have nuclear weapons. The group indicated this in a joint statement released by its foreign ministers and the high representatives of the European Union on recent events in Iran and the Middle East. The G7 has Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America as members, while the European Union is a non-enumerated member. And now we go to sports. Newly appointed National Athletics head coach Solomon Aliyu has pledged sweeping reforms aimed at rebuilding Nigeria's technical coaching framework and restoring discipline across the federation's programs. The Athletics Federation of Nigeria named the retired Deputy Superintendent of Police as head coach in what it described as an uncommon decision intended to usher a new era of high-performance coaching and athletes development. The appointment, announced on Tuesday by the Federation's Secretary General, Israel Nwang, takes immediate effect. Nigeria's highest-ranked fencer, Nkosi Bro, remains confident that his dream of qualifying for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games is still alive, despite exiting the knockout stage of the individual men's sabre event at the 23rd African Fencing Championship in Lagos. Egypt won the tournament, which was hosted from June 25th to 29th at the Charterhouse, Lagos. Nigeria's fencing sensation, Bro, Nigeria's highest-ranked fencer at both junior and senior levels, showcased his talent at the Continental Tournament, which concluded over the weekend in Lagos. He advanced from the group stage, competing against a field of seasoned athletes. And still in sports, head coach of the Yellow Greens and high-performance manager of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, Steve Tikolo, is optimistic that the team is making significant progress in their bid to pick up the 2026 International Cricket Council T20 World Cup ticket. The men's senior national cricket team resumed campaign in Lagos last week ahead of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers and the ILT20 Cup. After winning the Africa Sub-Region C qualifiers last week, Tikolo's men will go up against 7 other countries in the qualifiers, will be held in Zimbabwe from September 28 to October 4. Before then, they will also play the ILT20 Cup for July 13 to 30 in Uganda. And that is it on Global TV Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using the handle at Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigerian app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Priscilla Obasi. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.